Hello everyone, welcome to this video. In this video we will explore a pandas. So pandas is what? Pandas is a powerful Python library which makes a working with the data simple and intuitive. Whether you are analyzing sales number, survey results or even your personal budget, pandas can help you organizing, cleaning and understanding your own data. So by the end of this video, you will get to know how to create tables and filter row, calculate statistics and much more. So let's get started for this video. So what is Pandas? Pandas is nothing but it is a Python library designed for a data manipulation and analysis. When we break down the Pandas, so Pandas is panel data analysis, which we use for manipulation and analysis of the data. So you can think it as a supercharged version of Excel, but with the flexibility of Python. As Python, it is a library of the Python. It is built on top of NumPy. NumPy is also library of the Python which we use for a numerical operation in data science and machine learning. So if we talk about there is a series and data frame. There are two main things are present when we talking about the Panda. Series is what? It is a single column spreadsheet, and data frame is what? It is a full table with rows and column. We can relate this with one example. If we have the list of product with prices, sales number, pandas can turn this into the structured table. Structured table is what? Where we have the rows and column and it consists some kind of the informations which is basically present in some numerical form, categorical form, where from that table, structured table, we can easily calculate totals, filter a product, or even we can create some visualization charts. So this is about the data frame and the series. So pandas is what? It is a panel data analysis Python library for working with the structured data. Structured data is basically spreadsheet CSV files which consist of rows and column, and it is built on top of NumPy and it is a library of the Python. So this is about the series and data frame. Now there is another question, why use pandas? We have some other libraries, or we can take an example of we have the Excel, our Microsoft Excel, which is a great tool for analyzing data, organizing that data, but there are some limitations which we have in Excel. Comparatively Excel, pandas is faster. It can handle large number of data set. And when we talk about the flexibility, we can clean our data, filter our data, analyze that data with the simple code. The coding language which we use in the pandas is a Python. With the help of simple coding, we can create some kind of the table, we can analyze that table, and even we can manipulate that table as per our requirement. And when we talk about the integration, it works with the CSV file, Excel file, SQL file, JSON file. So these are number of files from which we can integrate, and with the help of this library we can analyze that data frame or that CSV file. Now next part is we will simply take an example of how we can create a data frame, and we will see practically how to create that data frame and how that pandas library is helping in creating the data frame. So for writing a code we will use simply our Google Colab. So let's go to the Google Colab. This is the Colab notebook, and here we will write our code. So firstly, we will simply start with the importing the library. So for importing that library, we will use the import statement, import pandas as a PD. So this is how we can import that pandas library. Now this complete library is present activated in our virtual environment. Now what we will do, we will create some data in which we will add some kind of the name, age, and we can take it example of the department, from which department that person belongs. So we will create one company kind of data which we convert into the data frame. So we have that information, like we will simply create that one. So I will save that complete information in variable by the name of data. And for creating data frame, as we have to follow that approach as the pandas library accepts. So firstly what we have given a curly parenthesis, inside that we will create a column. So first column will be our name. Inside name we will store some names of that employee or person. So For that, I'll use the square bracket and here I'll write some name. So firstly, I can say as Akash. Second one I can take as a Dolly. Third one I can take as a, let's suppose, a Bob. So these three persons names we have, or we can say information we have. Next column I'll create their ages. So firstly, age, and their age will be something look like there is a 25, then there is a 30, and let's suppose a 35. Here we have missed the given to write a comma. Whenever we are creating another column, we have to separate with the help of comma, and then another column will be department. So let me write that thing. Department, and department will be simply we can say it as Akash will belong from the marketing, and Dolly can be belong from the sales, and our Bob is from the IT team. So now our data is ready to create a data frame. Now we will use simply Pandas library for creating data frame. As we have this data, we will use this data for creating data frame. For that, what we can do, we'll simply call this library. As we have imported that library as a PD, import Pandas as a PD. PD is an alias statement for this library. So it kind of the short keyword we are using for calling that library. Rather than calling always the Pandas, we will simply call the PD. So for that, what we can do, pd dot data frame. So even if I wait for some time, it can show me the some suggestions. Pd dot data frame, date offset, date time index. So all type of suggestion it is showing. I'll simply use the data frame, and in that data frame I'll pass this data which I have created. So now I have just passed my data frame, and I'll use some variable to store that complete data. So I'll use the df. Now as I'm running this data, oh, it is showing some error. Data is not defined. Why it is showing? Because we have not run this cell. So as I am running this cell, and after that I am running this cell, so now this is running well. So now it is showing me one data frame where it consists of the rows and column. If we look to the name, there is a name column is present. Inside that name column we have the Akash, Dolly, Bob, which we have created here. There is a one column we have created by the name, and inside that we have inserted some value like Akash, Dolly, Bob. So these are the value we have enough for a first column. And then there is a age, department. This is the by default column which we can say it as an index. It is showing so 0 1 2. It is showing basically count number of rows. That we will see how we can see how we can get that number of rows or number of columns. So this is how we can store and create our data frame. We will simply use this library pd.dataframe, and we will pass our data, and we can store in some variable for accessing that data whenever we want that data. So this is how we have stored our data, and we are calling that data frame. Now as we are running, we are getting that result. So even you can load your some existing CSV or existing data set from your system. Let's see how we can do that. So what we will do, we will download and load our data set in our this Google Colab environment. Firstly, what I'll do, I'll search for some data set. I'm going to use one Kaggle data set which similar to the employee data set. So that I'll download and use for our further analysis. This is the Kaggle platform where you can download and you can participate into the multiple there is a coding challenges are going. So that in that you can participate, and you can simply use as an open source library for downloading dataset, or you are publishing your own work. Okay, so this is how I'm downloading that dataset. It's downloaded. Let me unzip that file. Extract all. Now as you can see, there are two data sets are present. Employee salary data set, there are basically two data sets are coming. Maybe one is the training one and one is the testing. We will simply use that one data for our purposes. Let me open this one, and here I'll upload simply. You can click here and upload the data, or simply you can drag and drop option also you can use. So I'll use the drag and drop. So now my dataset is uploaded in my Colab environment. Now if I want to access that data, how I can do that? There is some import statement, as we have seen, import pandas, and then we have created one data frame. For that pd.dataframe we have used. If we want to load the existing dataset, for that what we can do, there is a like command pd.readcsv. If I just wait, and it will start showing me some suggestions. So it is showing pd.read csv, read excel, feather. There are multiple type of different files we can load. So as in ppt also we have seen, we have the multiple things which we can import with, which we can analyze with the help of pandas library. So as this dataset extension is .csv, so we will simply use the read csv, and I'll give some bracket, and I will provide the path of that dataset. So here is the one option of copy path. I'll simply select that one, and here I'll set the complete path. And for reusability, or like whenever I want to call that data frame, I'll simply use that one variable in which I can store this data. So I can again use the df variable, or we can give any kind of the name. This is completely depend on us in which name we want to store. So now this is the code where we are loading our dataset and we are storing that dataset in some variable. So what we have done, we are using the pandas library, and there is a one function .read csv, which basically it can read the CSV, or we can read the multiple, whether it will be Excel file, JSON file. Depending on our file, we can use these functions. If suppose we have the Excel, so we can use the .read Excel. So that different format or different functions we have, from which we can load the different data. Now I'll simply run this code. So if I call the df, so it will show me some information of that data set. So as you can see, it is showing me the complete table where we have the ID, experience, year, age, gender, and salary. So this kind of the data set we have. Now we will see some basic information of that data set. Suppose this data set is large, and I just want to some overview of this data set. So how we can do? Suppose I want to look for some only heading part of the data set. So for that we have one function by the name of df.head, or we have the if we want to look for the lower portion or the bottom portion of our data. So for that we have the functions. Firstly we will see the upper part. So df.head, so it will show me the topmost row, which are the topmost 5 rows of which are present in that data set. It will show me simply that. So it is showing df.head. If I want to look for this small lower part, so I can simply call df.tail. So it is showing me the bottom portion. If I want to like a filter my data depending on some age, so how we can do that? Simply I'll use some conditional things. So for that I can use the df. Okay, this is our data frame in a variable in which we have stored and I can call df, and I will again pass the df, and inside that I'll pass that column. As we have the age column, I'll simply use that, and suppose I want the condition where the employee is greater than 30. So this is the condition I have put it. I have called the df, and I'm calling the column name. As we are using the df age column, and I'm putting condition whenever there is a age is greater than 30, I want only that employees. So it is showing me all the candidates or all the employee whose age is greater than 30 years. So this is the result which I got. If we see the previous result, so it is showing me the some ages of like a 28, 21. But as I'm filtering the data based on the age, so it is showing me only the employee whose age is greater than 30. So this is how the result which we got. Now this kind of the information, or we can say it as an analysis, we can do if we want to the further analysis like a cleaning the data. So we have, suppose there is a, if you want to check some like whether there is a NA value is present or not. So that also we can look if there is some missing values are present. If you want to drop that NA value, so for that also we have some functions from which we can drop the values. So this is something about the Pandas library, which is a basic overview and idea about how we can look at to the data set, how we can load that data set, and how we can create some create a data frame. So I hope you got the idea about how the Pandas library helpful for creating the data frame. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you got some idea about the Pandas library.
Thanks for watching the video. Our knowledge partners, certification alliances and curriculum creators are. Join our popular courses and get an immersive learning experience as we proudly serve as a global trailblazing training solutions provider, dealing with bringing a revolution in upskilling by offering comprehensive and specialized training programs. Following are our services: instructor-led virtual training, on-site training, corporate training, exclusive and individual training, self-paced training, classroom training, customized training, campus training. To know more about our courses, visit our website. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe the video.